Getting toward the halfway point of the NFL season. Week 7 is underway on EA Sports. And that's not going to be returned, as so many kicking teams elect to do. This is past the landing zone, and we'll start at the 30. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. On play action. Now McCarthy. Oh, the first play of the game going to be intercepted. Picked up by DJ Reed. Reed wrestling ahead.
Well, it's football 101 because when you come in as the favorite team, you obviously don't want to hand any kind of advantage to an opponent ready for an upset. Now, you'll be lucky to only be down 3-zip the next time you get the ball back because you've just handed them a dose of confidence to start this game.
So here's a 1st and 10 now down inside the 20. Gibbs straight ahead. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8. 2nd and 2. Pretty effective run there, and now they can start to smell that end zone.
Pound the rock. Make sure you use your O-line to set the tone of dominance and physicality, and pound the rock.
And he's going to be taken down, sacked back around the 18-yard line. Javon Hargrave, the D tackle, getting the sack.
You know, on these types of plays, we're always looking to assess blame. Okay, where did it break down? Sometimes it's just a great play.
So now following the sack, Goff and the Lions needing to come up with something here on 3rd and long. On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. Oh, his first throw of the game going to be intercepted. Picked off by Isaiah Rodgers.
And that felt like a little extra pressure on that 3rd down attempt, and their mistake cost them points because they're inside the red zone. So you know you've got at least a field goal waiting for you. And in this case, they end up with nothing.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And incomplete on the deep ball.
That was nice work there defensively to force the incompletion. Now, even though this drive started in plus territory, they're still not in field goal range yet. So they can work towards another couple of stops and not allowing that turnover to hurt.
And he'll get 4 here down to the 35-yard line. You talk about this Lions defense. They've been very good against the pass so far this year. Number 4 in the NFL right now.
And I'm struggling a little bit trying to really categorize this crew. They're top 10 in the league against the pass, but the bottom half of the league in sacking the quarterback. That doesn't make sense. Imagine if this group ever put pressure on the QB, they'd easily move into the top 5.
He'll get 15 and a Vikings first down.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
After the loss, they'll come up 2nd and 13. From the shotgun, McCarthy. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete.
One of the great coaches said football is really a simple game. Rush theirs, protect yours. And he's talking about those guys throwing the football. In this situation, the rush won, hitting the quarterback and forcing him into an incompletion.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Now McCarthy. All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. And the Lions are going to get the football here as he gets this up past the 20-yard line.
First and 10 at their own 21-yard line.
The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. A big mistake last time they were on the field, tossing that interception inside the red zone and really taking away what had been a pretty successful drive up to that point.
Yeah, and I don't think there's any question about it. As they head out on the field for this drive, that whole offensive unit is just thinking redemption. You know, they moved it really well, didn't pay it off. This time, they want to make sure that ball ends up in the end zone, and they're the ones possessing it.
Now it's gone. That's caught. It's Sam Laporta. Hook up of 15 yards there. And that will bring up second down. Counting down toward the midway point in quarter one. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did. And this will wind up a Lions first down as he gets it up past the 35. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. Another run for Gibbs here. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18. From Viking territory now, they'll come up first and 10 at the 46. Goff. That throw taken in by Jamison Williams. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. Now an injured player here, so a stoppage, and that's Jamison Williams who's shaken up. On first and 10, here's Gibbs. Down to about the 32. And look at this defense for the Vikings. They come into this one rounding out the top 10 in the 10 spot against the run.
Now if they could just get their pass defense in line, this unit would be really, really strong. And remember the conversation with the defensive coordinator? He wants them to rush the passer better. He wants to see the quarterback on the ground. They've got to create some sacks.
And he said it starts early and often. We'll see if they can get to him. And they move this all the way down to the 9. 23 yards on the play. Great mix of play calling so far. 3 runs, 3 passes. All 3 passes have been completions. First and goal.
I think on defense now, you have to almost take a chance. Rely on your scouting. Pick a play you think they would run here and just load up for it and see what happens.
And he will fight his way into the end zone for a touchdown. Jahmyr Gibbs, his first touchdown on the year. And the Lions take the early turnover and convert it into an opening touchdown. Point after, right down the middle. And that makes the score 7-0. Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. And we will not have a return. They'll bring this to the 30. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And it's been a miserable start for them offensively. Obviously, 2 drives, 2 interceptions.
And this is where you have to know your quarterback and know how you actually have to reach him. Do you do it with a little bit of humor? Maybe you break the ice a little bit. Like, hey, didn't we practice in that colored jersey already? Not the one that you're throwing it to? Or maybe you have to be stern with him. But whatever it's going to take to get the message, it has to be done. He's putting the game in jeopardy.
So the ball moves into Lion territory now. Here's first and 10 at the 38. And inside give to Jones. And a really good show of force there as he gets through for 4 tough yards. The Vikings at 3-2, a game over 500 here to start the season. And they come in with fresh legs. They got the extra time off thanks to an early season open week.
And usually your hope is that your open week comes a little bit later in the year. But when you get a chance to get your fresh legs back, you have to take that time and run with it, and that's what they're trying to get done here.
He's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down just shy of the 20.
Well, I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons, weapons everywhere, and they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people, but you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well, and that's what they just did on that play.
Second quarter now from Minnesota. It's the Vikings in possession of the football. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another first and 10. Up the middle, Jones. And a short gain here down to the 22. Credited with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
That felt like a trap because it looked to me like the opposing front was on that play from the get-go. They had everyone crashing the ball carrier before he even made the line, and they hold him to just a yard.
They work now on 2nd and 9. Here's McCarthy. Nowhere to turn this time, and he goes down. Sacked back at the 29. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game.
All about the offense so far this drive, putting something sustained together. But the defense, they responded on that play. 2nd and manageable became 3rd and long. The drive marching to the end zone is 1 play from stalling out.
And too much juice. It'll be out of bounds, incomplete.
And that's where you're counting on a receiver's size being an advantage. They were hoping he could go up the top of a smaller DB and haul that one in. A good thought, but that time it didn't work out.
And this is going to be roughing the kicker, an inexcusable penalty, Charles.
You've worked so hard to hold him to a 3-point kick. Now you give him the ball again with a chance for a touchdown.
Week 7 action, and we've got a 7-point game here in the 2nd quarter. And this offense hoping to change that right here. After the penalty, it's Jones. They stopped after only a yard, taking it down to the 14. But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
To the air with McCarthy. And he'll go down. Brought down at the 20-yard line. That time, multiple defenders getting pressure, and it's a loss of 6. This offense continues to shoot themselves in the foot. And here, another sack.
All game long, we've seen missed assignments, which have led to turnovers, sacks. This group has not played well at all here in the first half.
And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked off by DJ Reed. And the Lions are going to have it here at their own 32-yard line.
And as we've seen, points have been precious so far, and they just threw some away on that snap. And let's face it, as we advance further into this game, that play will be on the minds of everyone who's watching it. They wonder if this is the turning point. Is this the spot where those points were given away and could cost them a ball game?
And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
That's some good closing speed there defensively because that looked open for a minute. But that's great work with the ball in the air. Never gave up, converged on his man, and broke the play up.
Now a 2nd and 10. Out of the gun, Goff. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on 3rd down.
As this old brain remembers, when I see 5 wide receivers on the field as a defender, I know the ball's coming out hot. They expected it and got there and popped it free.
A shotgun snap for Goff. He's got it complete to Gibbs. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. 11 yards there and a Lion first down. Straight ahead with Gibbs here. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3.
Look, all any running back wants is a little bit of room, a little bit of space in order to maneuver. But he also understands how difficult it is for his offensive line up front. So if they give him any space, he realizes his job to make more out of it than what they give him. Picks up 3 on that carry.
A yard in the wrong direction makes 3rd down tougher. 3rd down and 9.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. And that is incomplete. Boy, did everything to hold on to it. But a nice play defensively, and now brings up 4th down. Jack Fox now gets set to punt. Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. Rodgers to return it. It'll go as a 42, make it a 43-yard punt. 6 on the return, and it will be Vikings ball, 1st and 10. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. They were winners the last time they took the field, which was 2 weeks ago. They had the open week last week, so this is a squad that should be really refreshed and ready to roll.
I would agree, because when you get that open week after a victory, it does wonders for everyone. Obviously, your body, get a chance to heal up, but your mind as well. You feel good about winning, so now you can get away from it for a few days, put down the playbook, turn off the film. Just be you. Enjoy that time away, and then you come back.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. And they'll have the ball set up in the red zone at the 16-yard line.
They'll take over 1st and 10 at the 16-yard line.
So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10. After the interception, here's Goff. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
And to put it mildly, this is a tough spot defensively. They have to come right back out and defend their red zone. But how about that good first step towards forcing them to settle for at least 3 points? I think they're also thinking bigger right now. Imagine being able to stop them totally and change the momentum.
Goff now looking to throw. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
He's smart enough to avoid the taunting rule, but I'll guarantee you quietly he's told them, you might want to stop coming after me downfield because I just broke up another pass and took away a big shot that you were trying to succeed with.
The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. Here's Goff. He had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete. On 4th down, on is Jake Bates for the Lions field goal. Bates' kick is good. So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx him.
And no chance to see a return on the dynamic kickoff. They'll move this out to the 30-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember last time out they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back. But make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
They lose the yardage, and, of course, they also lose the down on the grounding call, and it's quickly 2nd and long. And he's able to get up here to the 26. He turned that into a nice gain, gets him 8 yards closer for 3rd down. We've hit the 2-minute mark of the first half, 10-0 our score. So here's a 3rd and 14. McCarthy operating from the gun. And that will be incomplete.
I know this offense was expecting to do big things, but it certainly hasn't turned out that way, at least not through the first 3 drives. They're definitely going to have to put their heads together and start concocting some offense that'll move the ball downfield.
So a change of possession here on the punt, and the Lions will take over. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking, because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
He'll get that complete to the rookie from Arkansas. And he's able to get it all the way down to the 20. A big play there for Detroit. 44 yards. So a big play as it gets him all the way down to the 20 now for 1st and 10. Goff now to throw. And this is incomplete. Very lucky to get that one back. That nearly picked. It's 2nd down now. To the air again. Goff. And he comes back with one complete. And the Lions are going to have a 1st and goal as the tackle is made at about the 5. Now a timeout called for by the offense as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go here in the 1st half. Here's Goff. And this is going to be intercepted. And the Vikings are going to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20. CD, when he went to throw that, I'm not sure if he just didn't see where the defense was. Whatever the case, not the throw you're looking for on 1st and goal.
Not at all, because, look, let's face it, that close to the goal line, if you throw an interception, is going to hurt on any down. But really the only down you can kind of live with is if you do it on 4th down. The first 3, if you don't have it wide open, just get rid of it. Make sure they can't get it and live to fight another down. 1st and goal and you throw the pick, not good at all.
A nifty bit of scrambling there. 12 yards, 1st down. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Throwing is McCarthy. And that is incomplete, stopping the clock with 5 seconds to go.
This is a half where not just the coverage, but the entire defense is setting the tone in this game.
A final shot before break. McCarthy. And the Lions pressure too strong. Down he goes. And with just 1 second remaining in the 1st half, they'll call the timeout. A final shot before break. McCarthy. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete. 1st half in the books. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth, ready for quarter number 3. 10-0 is our score as we get started again on EA Sports. And this will not be returned, so the 2nd half begins with a touchback. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. And Charles, they've got the lead. Put your coaching hat on here now. What's the game plan for the 2nd half?
I think getting the running game going a little bit more.
And yet again, Goff is intercepted. Not the way you envision things to start out the 3rd quarter. One play and already a turnover.
It's interesting. You and I were talking with the coach, and he talked about how at halftime, as a play caller, he wanted to make sure he got a new script going for the 2nd half, not just the one that he operated off of to start the game. Nowhere on that script did it have that result.
This one swung out here to Jones. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. They get 14 there. 1st down, Vikings.
And this is what they're going to need more of. It's the 3rd quarter. You're trailing. You've got to come out with a renewed sense of purpose. And that's a nice way to kick off the drive with good yardage and a 1st down.
Escaping the pressure right. And seeing no options, he just tosses this one away incomplete. Now that'll bring up second down.
His impatience has to be bubbling over, trying to find a way to get his team to the end zone for the first time. He did find a way to break contain and get outside to buy his receivers a little extra time, but the connection couldn't be made on that throw.
And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up third down.
This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. T.J. Hockenson, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Vikings have got it back to within a score. Extra point right down the middle. And that'll cut it to 3 at 10-7. So just a 3-point game now as they send this one away. And Williams going to sit on this one. It'll be a touchback. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. Pretty important third-quarter drive for them. Momentum has sort of shifted the other direction after that last touchdown as they nurse this small lead. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
We've seen these defenses make enough opportunistic plays to keep this one low scoring. Flying around, making plays on the ball, and we see yet another errant throw as a result.
Here's 2nd and 10. Now Goff. And this one almost intercepted. Far too loose with the football. Nearly a 4th pick of the ball game.
That incompletion certainly makes this upcoming 3rd down a little bit more crucial. They need to find the right play to convert here and maybe start to tamp down a little bit of momentum the other side is starting to gain.
Here's Goff. He's airing it out for Williams. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
And that's a really good job there defensively. They went into this possession knowing that they needed to get a stop. They're in a tight ball game, and they got it done. Great work to force the 3 and out. Got the football right back for their offense. They've got to go to the sidelines feeling pretty good about themselves and encouraging their offensive mates to get some points.
It's a 40-yard punt, 4 yards on the return. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. Their defense has done the job. Now it's the offense's turn as they've got it 1st and 10. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 and a 1st down.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
And they'll keep on the ground with Jones. Now he got away from that first tackler. No idea, but he did, and it winds up with positive yardage.
I have to think a major focus of the halftime meetings had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying on their double teams at the first level, make sure that block's secured before they slide off and try and chip someone at the second level.
Drops it to Jones in the flat. And it's going to be another 1st down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 38-yard line. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs. So the ball moves into Lion territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 38. And his throw here is going to be incomplete.
You get the sense that they're saying we're not playing up to what we're capable of, and we're deep enough into the game that the early jitters are long gone, that they should now have some sense of continuity and be able to make some of these plays that they have not been doing so far. I'd say they've got to find a way to get him going. He's such a big part of their offense. I wonder if they might throw it a little and come back to the run.
Anything, because you're right. He's pretty much been completely neutralized. So third down, they need to get to the 28 for a first. McCarthy, he'll set to throw it. Left sideline, a dime, and it looks like he's got it. And it's going to be another first down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 14. That third down conversion good for 23.
When you're a player of his stature, you don't just circle the games on your team's calendar. You circle the Pro Bowl. Without a doubt. That's a game that you just figure you're going to be in each and every year. And it's because of catches like that. That's why he goes.
Now a first down carry by Jones. And he'll fight his way down right around the 12. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
This is 2nd and 8. Looking to throw McCarthy. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. It's just a gain of a couple there on the scramble, and now it's third down.
Oh, partner, just a second earlier, and they might have had him because they certainly thought they were going to close in and drop him behind the line of scrimmage, but he had just enough time to dodge the pressure, and he ends up getting yardage before being stopped.
And, oh, my goodness, here's a 5th interception. And I think he's going to go. They're not going to get him. And he will bring it back. An interception return for a Lions touchdown. So what a turn of events there. You're driving to take the lead in this third quarter, but then one mistake, and you're watching the ball being returned for a touchdown.
Certainly a great example of how focus has to be there on every play, doesn't it, partner? You can't get complacent, and I think that he did. He's got him moving downfield, but that's a play where he just shouldn't have thrown the football. And that ultimately could wind up costing him the ball game.
And no run back here. That's going to be a touchback, and we'll bring it out to the 30-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And you wonder, I mean, is it even possible, especially for the quarterback, to mentally reset after that quick of a turnaround?
Well, we're certainly going to find out, aren't we? Because that play will stay in your mind, but somehow you have to compartmentalize, put it aside, pick yourself up, and get moving in the right direction.
Off the bootleg, here's McCarthy sliding out of the pocket. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. He'll end up getting 5 out of that, but now they're looking at third down.
I did like his decision-making there to make sure they picked up something instead of forcing a throw. Now they've got more manageable play coming up to try and pick up the first down, and don't rule out the possibility that he just keeps it and runs again.
Working out of the gun is McCarthy. And under the Lions' pressure, he's brought down. Multiple defenders there to drop him for a loss of 4. And here's Ryan Wright now as he'll punt it away for the second time. His first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good. On the return is Williams. They'll net only 35 here following a 43-yard boot, 8-yard return. And they will take over 1st and 10. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old-school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is, can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
And we return, welcoming you back to Minneapolis. It's the Lions holding onto the football, and they also have the lead as we start quarter number 4. Goff now looks to throw. He's airing it out for Williams. It's caught inside the 25. Touchdown, Detroit. Jamison Williams, 73 yards. And the Lions look like they're going to get back in the win column as they extend their lead here in this fourth quarter. Extra point splits the uprights, and that'll make this a 3-score game now. The lead moves to 17. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And no run back forthcoming, so this will come out to the 30. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. Now, this game went off the rails early for them and never really got back on track. And these fans, they were expecting to be on the other side of the scoreboard. But that is not the case as we play on here in this fourth quarter. Defensively, I know they have the comfortable lead here in the fourth, but they do not want to give up big plays like that.
They want to finish strong. So oftentimes in this situation, you tighten up underneath in your coverage, and you bring your safeties back. They can pick up anything that leaks through. But in the meantime, upfield, you're making plays on the football.
So the ball moves into Lion territory now. Here's 1st and 10, right at the 40. Now McCarthy. He lets one go deep for Addison. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Jordan Addison, 40 yards. And the Vikings have got it back to a 2-score game here in the fourth. Point after, right down the middle. And the lead down to 10, 24-14. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And Williams going to sit on this one. It'll be a touchback. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. Now, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this fourth quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first down.
And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. Jamison Williams with now 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns. And the Lions use the big play to extend their fourth-quarter lead. Extra point right down the middle. And that'll make this a 3-score game now. The lead moves to 17. Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. And not willing to risk a return. This ball's going to come out to the 30-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They were coming off the extra week of rest, but this team started sluggish, and it really didn't get any better from there. And trailing big here in this fourth quarter. And he just gets rid of it, throws it away. The wise move there, looked like nobody open, now 2nd down.
That incompletion is not a surprise with the way that this one has gone, and the frustration of body language is evident everywhere. This team, they've really been put through the ringer in this one.
2nd and 10. Looking to throw. McCarthy. He gets it to Addison. Oh, able to avoid him. And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. Good yardage after the catch. Is that play good for 30 and a first? Back to throw. McCarthy. Going underneath, he's got Hawkinson. And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. They get 10 more there, and I believe that'll be enough for another first down. It will. A 3-score game here late. You can probably rule out the comeback, but certainly some kind of a moral victory to be had if they can get a few more points to close things out. And to that end, a nice pass play there to push things downfield.
Yeah, and we know in this league, a loss is a loss, and no one wants anything to count as a moral victory or, boy, something that feels a little bit cheap. But if they trim that lead down to just 2 scores, that's still a benefit to this squad.
The escapability in evidence there as that one good for 15 and a first.
It hasn't been the cleanest game for him, but there was a sign of improvement as he looks towards the next one. Nice bit of scrambling to move the sticks, and even more importantly, he didn't risk adding another interception to his ledger.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. And it's caught in the end zone for the Viking touchdown by Justin Jefferson. A 15-yard touchdown grab. And the Vikings are able to cut into that deficit. Extra point splits the uprights, and the lead is trimmed down to 10. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And Williams going to sit on this one. It'll be a touchback. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. If they can score here, they have a chance to make this a three-possession game and all but put things to bed. And they're going to stop it right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10.
And for the defense, this is a spot where you don't want to totally sell out to stop the run, but you do have a pretty good idea of what you're going to see. And that's good work right there to keep them in check on that first down carry.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11. But backed up here, tough spot, needing 11 yards to pick up the first. From the gun, here's Goff. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. And a terrific return as he takes this thing all the way down near the 20-yard line. That is the play they needed in a 2-score game here in the 4th quarter.
No doubt about it. They did what they had to do to give themselves a chance to get back into the game. They turned it over to the offense. They are now in charge.
Now they need to execute. Throwing to start the drive. McCarthy. And he's got the hook up to Moore. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Rondale Moore from 21 yards away. And the Vikings have made it a 1-score game again here in the 4th. Point after, right down the middle. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this 4th quarter. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. From the end zone, here comes Williams. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. I'm curious to see, Charles, about the play calling on this drive. Last time out, the interception that led to a touchdown. Here we are. I mean, very close, 1-score game.
Yeah, and if I'm a defender, I'm actually chirping to you on the other side of the ball, saying, hey, we picked off the last one. What you going to do about it now? So when you do throw the football, high percentage, but throw it with confidence. If there's any hesitancy at all, it could end up in enemy's hands again.
And they'll come up on a 2nd and 7 from the 27. They'll go again with Gibbs. And he'll get a couple up to the 29.
And this is the worry because sometimes you get a little too predictable in spots like this. You know you're going to run the ball, but they know you're going to run the ball as well. And now you look up and you're staring at an important 3rd down.
Goff. Setting up the screen. This is Gibbs. And he is going to have a Lions first down. He needed 5. He got it barely as it will officially go down as a gain of 5 yards. 3 points separating these two sides with 2 minutes left to go in the 4th. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. On to give. Here's Gibbs. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40.
The recipe's pretty simple, I think, right? Just give your superstar the ball, continue to feed him.
Yeah, don't overthink this one, right? Make sure he's touching the football, but you're also counting on his intelligence in playing the game as well. If it's not there, don't force the run. Just make sure you hang on to the football and keep the clock ticking.
Trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. They need 2. Here's 3rd down. Gibbs will try and pick it up. Boy, no chance as he was met and dropped behind the line there. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Here comes the Lions punter now as he'll come on to kick this one away. And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. They'll come up 1st and 10 here. Back to throw. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Alex Anzalone in there to take him down, and the clock will roll. They'll come up now. This is 2nd and long. He's back to throw. Pass complete. It's Hockenson. And he is going to get out of bounds with the 1st down. So that's going to double their pleasure for sure. They get the 1st and save a timeout.
Well, they got the yardage they needed there. Picked up the 1st down. Got out of bounds. How about the urgency that they have as well as the understanding where they are on the field?
2 timeouts still available in this final minute. It's 1st and 10 now. They'll look to throw. And that is incomplete. A couple extra defensive backs out there in the dime, and because of that, really not many places to throw the football, if any.
And typically, what would you want to do against that dime?
Run the football.
You want to run the ball, but you can't do it in this situation. Not nearly enough time on the clock. You're having to really navigate against a tough defense presented against you.
They'll try again here. 2nd and 10. He'll look to throw. And he's got this to Jefferson. And he gets this to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out.
And here we are in the 4th quarter, partner, and watch him drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there. Not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
This one caught. It's the tight end, Hockenson. And he's across for a touchdown, and it's likely the game winner here in the closing stages. Extra point right down the middle. And it would appear, barring some late heroics, they're going to get out of here with a come-from-behind victory. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And with time a factor here late, he'll just take a knee, and they'll start things out at the 25. Here's 1st and 10. Goff now to throw. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't get in.
Probably time for 2 more shots, and ideally, they'd like to get to midfield or so they have a chance at a Hail Mary on the final play.
Here's 2nd down. Now a timeout called for by the defense. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. Well, in need of a big play here and then a timeout. Here's 2nd down. Goff. He's going to let it fly. It's caught inside the 25. And he's across for the touchdown, and it's likely the game winner here in the closing stages. Charles, that drive was perfect, methodical, executed so well, and they grabbed that lead with almost no time left for a last gasp from the other side.
No way you could have drawn up a better final drive, because not only did they keep their eyes on the end zone, they made sure they bled the clock out as well and denied their opponent a chance to respond. That's just terrific situational football to end this one.
And that one going to hop into the end zone, and it'll come out to the 20.
At their own 20-yard line.
One final shot. They'll look to throw. And it's incomplete. So their final drive comes up empty. And with that, the ball game is over. Well, it took us until the final play, Charles, to officially decide a winner. Although on that last play they were so backed up, it would have taken a miracle, and they couldn't get that miracle done.
Well, I like how you stayed with it, because we both knew that this had to go down to the last play, and neither side was going to exhale until that play concluded, because we've seen the improbable before. A couple of laterals, maybe some poor defense on the back end. They might have gone all the way to the end zone. In this case, though, it didn't happen. Perhaps next time.
So for Detroit, it's a much-needed victory as it gets them back to 2-4 on the year. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for Minnesota, the loss here will move them back to 500 at 3-3. And they will try to get back in the swing of things next week on the road.